Hello everyone, I'm Aminata Kangalde, your host for this edition, and I hope that we are all keeping safe and abiding by the precautionary measures to protect ourselves and our communities against the COVID-19 pandemic. It is essential as we are coming back to what seems to be our new normal, that we abide by the rules so that we protect one another. Dear audience, I'm super excited to welcome you to this edition of the Ignition Hour, where we bring to you great entrepreneurs in an effort of helping you be ignited by their journeys and experiences. Whether you are young entrepreneurs or contemplating embarking on that path. This game changer that is the Ignition Hour is brought to you by Craving for Development, an organization that commits to helping young entrepreneurs, young African people, be equipped with the necessary skills that will help them be independent and impact-oriented. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite all of us to project ourselves and imagine an Africa where curiosity, engagement, and grit are the driving forces of our youth. At the Ignition Hour, we are on a mission to make that happen, and we are just getting started. Another projection that we need to make is one where our pride for our brands, for our African brands and designs, fabrics, and capacity to create are as deeply rooted as the Adinkra symbols among the Ghanaian people, and where Africa becomes the hub for fashion creation among the creators of the world. The topic of this afternoon's session is Salone fashion industry, sweet and swagger. The increased interest in African history, culture, and realities over the last few years have led to many on the continent and in the African diaspora to re-engage and relearn their culture, and that includes fashion. African cinema's growth has massively encouraged the growth of the African fashion sector, with many of the stars in the space regularly showcasing the best the continent has to offer. It is no longer rare to see a dashiki or kente cloth in major fashion shows and parties around the world nowadays. However, on as well as off the continent, the African fashion industry needs to have various promotional efforts, traditional as well as digital, strategic initiatives of mutual benefit to stakeholders, supply chains, and distribution networks that connect and inspire creativity and innovation in order to develop an industry that stands alone. African countries' respective law centers and organizations like the African Cotton and Textile Industries Federation need to build more institutional capacity in the region, identify key trade policy issues that limit exports of textiles and apparel, and advocate for reforms that liberalize trade within the region in order for entrepreneurship in the sector to be a worthwhile investment. The issue is as complex as the patterns of African prints. But to deconstruct all the mysteries and lift the various myths, we have in our midst today two great entrepreneurs and role models in the sector of fashion in Sierra Leone, namely Madame Josephine Oyewole, co-founder and CEO of Afro-Meric's Beauty Salon and Institute of Cosmetology. Give her a round of applause as we welcome her on the platform. And Madame Kumba Liliana Musa, engineer and fashion designer for the fashion brand Kumba. Afro-Merics has now transformed into a household name in the beauty industry in Sierra Leone and continues to stretch the boundaries by introducing new techniques for hairdressing, beauty, and style. While the sophisticated, luxurious, and chic Kumba brand is conquering the hearts of young and older Sierra Leoneans in search of a look that makes the difference. Kumba is also interestingly the founder and executive director of the NGO STEM Women Sierra Leone. I can promise you that before the end of this edition, we'll be enlightened enough to embark into this industry as entrepreneurs, but in a way that will heighten the standards that we are looking for. Thank you so much for joining us and welcome to the Ignition Hour platform. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm happy to have two great women entrepreneurs. Another round of applause for the feminine weight in the industry. Yeah, so going straight to the conversations, I just would like to know what brought both of you into the fashion industry. Let's start with you, Kumba.
So, interestingly, I started off as a tomboy. I know, seeing me now, you wouldn't believe that, but I was a sneakers girl, dressed masculine throughout my secondary school years and everything. I was not into feminine clothes, nothing like that. I didn't bother with my hair, didn't bother with any jewelry, nothing like that. But then when I went to university and then we started having these parties to attend, and I would want to wear something very specific. So I would spend hours at the tailor shop guiding my tailor to do the dress exactly as I wanted it. And then when we're done, when I go out, everyone will be, "Oh, Kumba, your dress is really nice. Kumba, the style is really nice. It's really catchy." So I wasn't really doing it for anyone else. I was just doing it for myself because that's how I wanted my outfit to look like. So, and after I completed, towards the end of university, I started having people coming to me and asking me if I can do something similar to an outfit that I had worn, if I can do it for them. So then I started thinking, okay, people seem to like what I like. People seem to have my sense of fashion. So I started doing it for a few people. And then when they would post their pictures online, they would say, "Oh, my friend Kumba helped me to do this." So that's how my name started going out as someone who also designs clothes. It's not something that I really set out to do. I never intended to do that. So from that point on, I thought, let me try and invest in this my side interest a bit more. So I started off with the tailor shop, just to see if I control the production, the supply chain, if I would get more people coming in. And indeed, there were a lot more people coming in. And then from that point on now, it has graduated to what it is now. So my interest in fact, I didn't even know that I had it in me. To me, my uncles, they used to laugh at me that my outfits were very crazy because they wouldn't make sense. Sometimes my tailor would hide from me because when I tell him I'm coming to prepare an outfit, he knows that we're going to be here for the next 6-7 hours, and he wouldn't come to the shop at all. So it's I'm honestly, I am really really surprised that it came out this way, that people would want to wear something with big sleeves and some elastic bands and so flamboyant, and they would like it. It's really surprising to me that people appreciate my sense of style. But that's where it started, and this is where we are now.
That's interesting, really. Yeah, and I was really puzzled to see an engineer in the fashion industry. I was like, what drove her,
Yeah.
But then it's now obvious that it's your passion about a passion for fashion, for what is beautiful and all. And yeah, so that's really nice. And people like it, I'm sure, because of the quality that they receive from you. Thank you so much for that. Josephine, what about you?
I'm a second generation cosmetologist. So my mom's been doing hair. So I would say I grew up in the industry, and I've been doing hair since I was 12. It's always been a passion. I've always just liked transforming lives because when after you've done someone's hair, their walk is different.
Mm-hmm.
Their walk is different. You
That's
see the
true.
confidence.
Uh-huh.
So I think I that's the aspect of it that I really enjoy. Just that transformation. And I saw what my mom was doing, and I kind of ran away from it for a while. I tried nursing, and I went to school for allied business. So I was like, no, 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 I'm going to be different. I'm going to do something different. But I never went to class because I was doing hair.
And then what I guessed was you studied it. Like, it's not only you not going to school and then ending up doing hair, but then afterwards you invested in the studies.
I invested. I went to TC Williams, which is in Alexandria, Virginia, and so they had a career center there. And then after I finished that, I came to Sierra Leone, and then after the war, I went back to the States, and then I saw that my haircutting skills and coloring skills weren't what I was satisfied with, so I went back to school. So it's a constant education. You have to invest in yourself. So it's something when you enjoy it, when you have a passion for it, you always want to learn whatever the new technique, whatever the new things are. So that's it.
That's great. So I'm seeing a trend in here. Why because most of the time the curiosity around what's the recipe they have for it to work. So what I'm sensing here is more of the love for quality, and what you just mentioned, investing in that knowledge. Always reinvesting, not like stopping the learning.
You can't.
Continuing learning always. Yeah. So what are the challenges that you experience in the business industry?
For me, it's the human resource. Getting a team who can translate my design ideas into reality.
And you are Kumba.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's the biggest challenge that I have up till now, because tailors are not adequately trained. So the finishing, the cutting, even to translate the design from the drawing to reality, it's a very big issue. And for me, I pay a lot of attention to the finishing of the outfit, the quality, the type of material, even securing good quality materials here is also a very, very big challenge. So for me, the biggest challenge that I am experiencing in my business is the trained professionals that I have to work with. Yeah.
So you were still meeting people like your former tailor who brought you into this?
Oh, I'm still with him. Yeah.
Oh, he's working.
Oh, yeah. So we're working out together. He's my lead tailor now. So he finally moved with me, and we're working out together. So he understands. So he understands me. So, but to train the others, because he can't be doing all the work himself. So I have about 10 tailors at the tailor shop. So to train those ones to that level. And some of them, because they were sewing at home, so they think they have a couple of people in their area who they sew for, so they think they are really good tailors. When you try to correct them, do you know how long I've been doing this? Okay, you've been doing it your way, and that's fine. Now I want you to do it my way. And some they leave, they don't come back again, and so most of the time I have to find someone who has no experience and train them from ground up, and that's a lot of investment. And it's and always with tailors, they always leave. That's the sad part in here. They always leave. As soon as they are good enough, they just try to get a machine, put it at their house, and then they service those around them. So it's a constant cycle that I'm engaged in, constant cycle. But we're trying to make it work.
That's a challenge, I know, but it's also an interesting trend. When you know that some people are really reluctant to train other people, because as you said, you train them and then they leave and they become competitors like right away. Yeah,
True.
That's really a bit scary when you look at it from a certain angle.
Yeah.
What about you, Joe? What are the
kind of
challenges?
Opposite. With me, well, it's human resources as well, because there's certain things that I would want to incorporate in the business. So as far as the school, I train people. I mean, that's one of the aspects of Afro Merit. So it's I create my own competition. Well, not competition, but I create livelihood for other people.
Mhm.
Some people see it as competition. Like initially when we first started, they were, why are you training people? They will take all your customers. But everyone has their niche and everyone has their special skills. So I don't see it as competition as that aspect. And when you train someone, you get that blessing. That's another way that I see it. You get that blessing and you help building the nation. So that's really important, because when you die, you go with everything. So you have to leave your legacy behind. You know what I mean? As far as the salons, the human resource, because you want them to continue their education. You want them to go further than what you like. What I know and what I've been taught, I teach it to them, and I want them to pass me. So I encourage them to continue to get education, whether it be YouTube, whether it be taking classes, whether it be leaving and working for someone else, because you need to expand, and that's the only way. Just like you're saying that you have a certain flair of style, and you didn't think somebody liked it, but now you created a trend, and other people are following it, and then it'll be something else, a year from now, 2 years from now. As far as the product line, packaging, labels, sometimes the social media aspect becomes a headache, because you can't keep up with everything, because basically I have 4 brands: myself, the school, the salon, and the product line. So it becomes very stressful. So having a team that sees your vision and that will invest in your vision is very difficult here.
Yeah, that's so true. And I think that is cost cutting in many industries. It's not only in the fashion industry, and that's a bit frustrating. To just be the one who has the vision. You try to share it with the people around you, and it doesn't happen. The thing that I really loved about what you said was you being the first brand. It's amazing, because you need to have that mindset for you to represent the brand that you were holding. Because if you say you're a shoemaker and you're always in wearing bad shoes, and then who's gonna come to your so it's really a nice vision that you have, and hopefully those around you also are gonna pick that up. So what about success stories? Do you have success stories in the course of doing business in the fashion industry?
For me, I think the biggest success that I have achieved so far is opening my showroom. So for me, that was a very big step. I was a bit anxious at first if it will be successful, because getting the few orders here and there for when I just had the tailor shop, that was okay. That was safe. It was low maintenance. It was safe. That was good. But now to have another location, a showroom, do a lot of outfits, put it there, hope that people come in and get it. So that was a big move, and it's paying off. And I'm so grateful. Sometimes I can't even believe it. I'm so grateful. So that is the biggest. That means people that don't even know me, people just walking by, that stop in and see the things, they actually do like them, and they buy them without even knowing who I am, because that's the first for me, the first way for my business to take off was my friends helping me out, coming to me and asking me to do something for them. That's how it all started. So that was very safe for me. But now I was just going out and just throw caution to the wind and just hope that someone would appreciate what I've put out there, and they have. So I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah, that's a great milestone.
Yeah,
and we congratulate you for that. Yeah. What about you, Joe?
My students. For me, that's like the most important thing. The students and the legacy that I'm leaving, and the I think the quality that I bring to the industry. So that's something that's really important to me, and just the expansion, because we went literally we went from 4 chairs in on Garrison Street. Went from 4 chairs, and we've expanded the building to it's 15 chairs. 15 chairs, the classroom, office. So the expansion of that, and then the branch in Godridge, and that one is an all natural hair salon, so it's natural hair care, And I just love that people are going on their journey with me, because initially natural hair care was non-existent here. And so the education that we give to the clients and the students, that's like a big accomplishment for me. And the product line, that's a blessing as well. So
yeah, we'll come back to that, because it seems that both of you were not born with a silver spoon in your mouth. But we'll come back to that, because that's the myth that most of aspiring entrepreneurs have. But now what came from the discussion around the challenges is like it's very difficult to have good products, manufacturing of good products, but also the human resources. So how can we invest in changing that narrative, so that like locally we will have those great products very available to us and made by us eventually, but also having those great human capital in our hands.
The human capital here is I don't know if people are scared to invest in themselves. I don't know if it's just the lack of exposure to a lot of things, or being content. You really can't figure it out, because you see somebody will come in and they're passionate about it. Like, this is what I want, this is what I need. And then you see other ones like, okay, Musu is doing this, me too, let me do it. So there's a lot of that. So it's kind of confusing at times that you see the potential of the country and the people and everything, but they don't see it in themselves. So it's very frustrating.
Yeah, I think for the salon business, it's more of, as you said, dropouts, people who drop out of school or stuff like that. Just come and because they know they can braid and they make money, they just do it and they stop it at that. They don't go beyond and invest in learning more, in exploring.
And sorry to cut you off, but when I first moved to Sierra Leone, it was baffling to me, because in the States you have to have 1,800 hours, you do your apprenticeship, and you go for your license. And the course consists of chemistry, biology, anatomy. It's so many different science, geometry, science and math, because cutting hair is basically geometry, and hair coloring and relaxing and things like that. That's chemistry. And then when you're doing massages and scalp massages and things like that, that's anatomy. So when someone, when I'm trying to teach someone and I'm like, okay, hold it at a 90-degree angle, they're like, Madam,
I'm not having 90.
So it becomes frustrating. Then everyone's like, this is a dropout course, and I look at them, I'm like, do you even know that we present, like, everyone that is here today used soap, comb, rubbed cream, or whatever. So we present everyone to the world. So I find it really odd that they look at it as the industry that is not necessary or insignificant here. It baffles me.
Talking about scalp massage, like that's where the brain is. So so you were on my head and then you messed me up, and I'm like, but I hope you're not gonna do any damage. So I remember bringing my mom to your salon, and when she left, she was like, what was she doing on my head? I said, she was massaging you. She said, I don't know what type of fingers she has. She was so relaxed, So I think it's not magic, you don't acquire it by magic, but you have to invest those 1,800 hours. It's amazing. Like what as a major that you have to do for you to do 1,800 hours of all that. So it's really amazing, and it's not now any more puzzling to me that you are a cosmetologist, because I was wondering how, but we come back to that. How come she's doing cosmetics? She's making her own product, but studying the way you have studied, it's becoming clearer. So what do you think of that? How we can overcome the difficulties around the human resources and the access to good produce?
So we do have a lot of vocational institutes around that do teach hairdressing, tailoring, but it's the content of the course. So that's why when the students leave, they're not adequately prepared for the workforce. It's the content. And because when you look at even when you go to countries like Nigeria, when you look at the courses that they have in their fashion schools, it is very detailed and it is very extensive. You cover a lot. It's not all about cutting the basic outfit and then running it through the machine. It's way more than that. It's they teach you so many. They even teach you about the fabric, the type of fabrics to use for the type of outfits. They teach you about the type of machine that will get you the type of design that you want in a particular outfit. So there are a lot of things that you have to study that we do not cover here. So at the end of the day, the students, they are not prepared for the workforce, and then we absorb them into our business, and then we bear the burden now of training them again properly. So combating this, we have to go back to the schools. Jo is doing a fantastic job where she is, because she is trained properly, so she can pass on that knowledge to the students. Unfortunately, a tailor in my area can decide to start a vocational institute, gather a couple people, and then teach them. And he is not even properly trained to pass on the knowledge. But it's just a means for that tailor to get to an end, because he also needs somewhere to get some money from. So he would start a small class in his area to teach. So the trend continues, because when those students graduate, they would also pass on the same bare minimum knowledge they have to others. So the sector will be littered with these individuals that are not trained. And for the few people now who want quality out of their work, they get to suffer, because they have their vision, they know how it wants to look like, but then they don't have the workforce to support that vision. So a lot of it, the sector is very underfunded in terms of the training aspect. It is not funded at all. So we really need to think about how to train the trainers so that the students can benefit from this education. Or else I wouldn't say it's a waste of time, but they won't service the customers as best as they should. And at the end of the day, would rather buy an outfit from Nigeria, would rather buy an outfit from Ghana, would rather wear the Western outfit, because they are made properly. Because everyone wants to wear something that is sewn well,
that makes you change the way you walk.
Exactly. So you see, so a lot of efforts. We need to consider training the trainers at this point.
So is that the reason why we don't have many fashion schools in Sierra Leone? Like the training of trainers. So we don't have many talented people who know they can transfer the knowledge. And then as a consequence, no properly structured schools, and also the consequence is, no human resources to hire from. So is that the reason?
So it can't be the reason, but it's a major reason. It's a very big contributing factor. Because if you don't have people as trained as Jo, then why invest in setting up a whole institute? Who is going to teach there? So it wouldn't make any sense for the investors. So we don't have people who actually take the time, as Jo was saying earlier, to invest in themselves, to capacitate themselves, and then pass on that knowledge. We don't have that. So and as long as we don't have that, we're going to be here for a while. Yeah.
But do you guys have the intention of coming together and maybe, that you have an institute of cosmetology, but having something that have many different branches and specifications, so that the sector will benefit from it?
For me, I mean, that's like one of my biggest dreams. I've always wanted to do a proper institution, so it'll become like a hub. So Sierra Leone will be known for something. So we'll have proper automatic, not you put foil on my wire and tell me, Madam, I don't done. So having proper training, having proper teachers come in, the proper equipment, because that's another thing. A lot of equipment is not here. There's certain techniques that I would love to do, but I'm like, if I invest in this equipment, who's going to pay for it? Or will they understand it? Or who can I train? Because I can't sit in the shop all day waiting for someone to come in. You know what I mean? So that would be like I think it would benefit all around. Tailors, because you guys have 30 different machines.
Exactly.
There's so many different machines
Yeah.
that you can use in her industry, in my industry, but all the industries. You know, catering. I would love to have a building and everyone have their own department and train people properly. Because that's another thing. It affects the tourism as well. Some people will come in and like, okay, they don't have this, and they'll skip over us. Like, oh, let me go to a resort, and there's not a proper resort. A pool and a room is not a resort. You know what I mean? So it would make a big difference in the country. It really would.
And you know, I remember in our discussion, Joe, you mentioned that, you know, competition. We're gonna come back to competition. That you know, you don't regard it as competition. You even mentioned it a while ago. You know, but when it comes to other industries, when you ask people the question about, you know, what are the opportunities for young people who want to embark into the sector, they view it as if as you know, giving the secrets to others. But what you guys have, the picture you guys have drawn looks like, you know, there are so many missing parts that young people can come on board and help fix. So what are those? You know, what are those opportunities, those gaps that exist in the fashion industry, and that you ladies would like to see somebody coming in with skills that can help fix those?
As far as the cosmetology industry, now we have a big makeup boom. So, but there's so many different techniques and so many different things. We only have one esthetician in Sierra Leone that I know of, like properly trained, that has the equipment and the knowledge and everything. It's one thing rubbing something on someone's face and actually diagnosing the skin. So that's completely different. And there's even for when you get your pedicures, there's medical grade, you know, pedicures that you can do instead of, you know, just the basic one that the salons do. So there's so many gaps. Like I'm a cosmetologist. I know basic, you know, everything, but I specialize in natural hair. So that's, you know, that's my gift. That's my talent. If your hair is damaged, you know, I know how to repair it. That's my talent. I love cutting hair. I love hair color. But there's levels. Like somebody can come in with a picture of your scarf and say, I want my hair this color. I can do that. So, you know, and there's like weaving techniques. It's not about the needle and thread. There's tape, there's glue, there's clips, there's so many different techniques. There's so many ways that that this business can go, and so many people that I know there's so many cosmetologists abroad. When they come in, if they have a short-term course, it will take the country in a different direction.
Okay. I'm sure it landed in good ears. Yeah. So what do you say?
Yeah, so for me, for the fashion industry, you know, it's big. You have so many different things that you can do. I'm into the cotton fabric, and I saw primarily using this type of fabric. But then you have the tie-dye, then you have the country cloth, and then you can have those who can go into accessories. You can have those. That it's so wide. So I think there's room for a lot more people to come on board. And interestingly, as I was saying, I think I was telling you the other day, I see a lot of the people that are entering into the fashion industry. They're mostly young people. So that's really interesting to see. It's not my aunt or my mom's age that are starting fashion a business now. No, it's very young people that I'm even older than. So it's very interesting to see, and they're very innovative in the things that they come up with. You know, you have books that they wrap now with the African fabric. You have fascinators that they wrap. You have your purses, your shoes. You have necklaces, earrings, and you know, it's, for me, I think it's a very big sector that many people can come into. There is more than enough room. Yeah, but that being said, Sierra Leone has a very small market, though. There are a lot of things that you can do, but we have a very small market, so we're all going to be marketed to the same crowd. So that's where the competition comes in. That's where you need to differentiate your brand. You need to make your brand stand out prominently among those that are doing something similar to what you are doing. But there are a lot of things that people can do.
And then that brand doesn't even need to be like tailoring or opening a hair salon, but it can be identifying the gaps
Exactly.
that you who are already in the industry need to be filled,
Yeah.
and then coming on board to help fill that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So from when you were talking about the challenges, I felt like one needs to have a very strong backbone of steel, to be able to thrive in this industry. So how is it? Is that a good picture of it? And also, like, what are the attributes that people who want to come on board need to have?
For me, I think one, based on the trajectory that the fashion industry has taken, you need to have a competitive spirit. And for you to thrive, you need to ensure that your business is you identify the crowd that you're going to cater to. Don't make the mistake of trying to service everyone. You want to sew for men, you want to sew for women, children, you want to do fascinators, you want to do bags. You'll burn out. And at the end of the day, your products, it wouldn't be the quality that you are going after. You won't be able to get it because you're just overstretched. So identify the crowd that you are going to market to. Identify the product that you are going to specialize in, and you make sure you invest in that. Yes.
Time and energy.
Yeah. So for me, if someone comes to me and they tell me they want people don't come to me and tell me they want a simple straight dress, because they know that's not something that Kumba does.
Kumba doesn't know how to.
No. That's not something that I do. I'm not interested in that. So everyone knows when you come to me, you're going to leave with something like this.
Or one big sleeve something.
There you go. That's it. So I own that. That is I cater to people who want that type of fashion. So I invest a lot in the type of materials that I use. I use a lot of materials. I try to give them when they come to me, I try to satisfy the need that they come to me with. So for me, everyone should identify what they want to do. Don't try to do everything. You won't survive. Jo is her business is very, when you go to Jo, you know what you're going there to do. So when you come to Kumba, you know what you're coming to me for. So everyone identify what you want to do, and then you specialize in that. And also, please invest in research. It is very, very important. It is very important. You would have the idea, but then honestly now there's really no new ideas. There's really no new one. So you just have to tweak ideas that already exist. That's why you need to do research, see what is out there, and see how best you can tweak that to something that you would do. So research, don't just jump into it without research. Search.
Market search. Very important.
So I agree with her 100%. The research aspect, especially because there's so many limited things here.
Exactly.
So you always have to find an alternate way of doing things. So research, finding a mentor, very important. Somebody who's already been through it. It's like there's no point of struggling when you don't have to.
True.
It's like mentor, and is very, very important. Investing in yourself, investing in your products, investing in your equipment, because it makes no sense to go buy something. You'll see a blow dryer. Let me just say, for example, you'll see a blow dryer for $10, and there's another blow dryer for $200. Why? Why is it $200? So this one will last you maybe a good 3 months. This is a lifetime. You know what I mean? Like the best purchase I've ever purchased was a pair of scissors. $300. I've had it for like 15 years.
$300.
$300. But
only.
But that's my field. So I've never had to sharpen it. I've never had to sharpen it. I've never had any issues. Anytime I go to the States, if anything needs to be done, the company still honors it. So those are the things you invest in. You always have to make sure that whatever you put into yourself, you're going to give the same thing back to your clients. So I mean, I've had clients literally from the day I landed in Sierra Leone until now. I'm still doing their hair. There was this girl that came to shop, and she said, "You did my mom's hair for her wedding." And I'm just like, I'm that old. She was in her, she was in her 20s. She was like basically like after she got married, after the mom got married, had her. Now she's my client, and then I'm doing her daughter's hair. Oh, I'm just showing my age. So it's a blessing. Just to keep reinventing yourself. I think that's another thing in the industry. You have to keep reinventing yourself because, as you said, we're all in the same industry, but we all have our own niches.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's it. But I disagree with you slightly on the competition. If we had a proper postal service, or everyone can specialize in whatever they specialize, but this shouldn't be the target. Just the way we buy things from Nigeria and Ghana and the States and everything, we should be able to send our own thing out.
True.
It doesn't. For me, that's like a big problem. I have people that want to try my products, and they reach out to me online, but I have no way of getting it to them cost affordably. Yeah, that's an issue.
Yeah, big issue.
So a good niche would be even e-markets. Trying to find a way of taking products from here, getting them to like people from the diaspora, Sierra Leoneans who would really love to have something from here. So that's a smart way of thinking of it, instead of just coming and investing and becoming competitors of people who already have established themselves. Yeah. Thank you so much for that. I would like to ask you to take a break.